Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your Arsenal starting 11 versus Tottenham Hotspur as we get into that make or break, do or die fixture on Sunday. It's a game that we must win. Title decider 2.0, title decider. Every single part of that game means Arsenal progress to the next round of the, of the Premier League fixtures as table leaders. That is what we've got to do. As long as Manchester City are not above us, we are still leading, right? So for me in this game, I think Ange Postecoglou sets up in quite a very peculiar way, to be honest, but also in a way that I think would facilitate this Arsenal team. I think some players don't need to start in this game. For me, Kai Havertz, this is not your game. Leandro Trossard, this is not your game as well. This is a game of running. This is a game of pace. This is a game of energy. And I think Kai Havertz, I think Leandro Trossard, quite very brilliant against Chelsea, but you saw how Chelsea set up. You saw how Chelsea were actually very sluggish. In this Tottenham Hotspur game, it's quite the opposite of what we saw against Chelsea and what we saw against Aston Villa. It's against Wolves. It's more of the Aston Villa way of playing. They will press you. They will play a high line, and they will try to camp in your own half. If you can get those balls over the top, you will actually undo them. So let's get to the starting 11 because for me, I'm going to make some drastic changes. So in goal, of course, the drastic changes don't really apply to David Raya. He's been phenomenal for us, and I will leave him as our goalkeeper. In this game, David Raya is going to be very important. Now, for me, Spurs are not defensively admirable. I don't think they're defensively inspiring. I don't think they're that defensive unit that gives you sleepless nights. However, David Raya could be another key to unlocking Tottenham Hotspur. So one thing we have seen with David Raya is that he's got that ability to play the ball over the top, but also to play the ball really quickly. We know that Spurs want to camp into your half. We know that Spurs want to have the ball. We know that Spurs want to attack in numbers. But then the problem is that they don't defend in numbers. You look at that Newcastle 4-0 loss they suffered. Alexander Isak, with his pace and technical ability, he outdid the whole of Tottenham. One player absolutely screwed them. And of course, you have the likes of Anthony Gordon in that game. That's why I'm saying Kai Havertz, Leandro Trossard, this is not your game. So with David Raya, I think what he will be doing, he will be patiently and accurately collecting crosses from the likes of Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, and Huminson, and quickly releasing runners that will be already on their way. I'm talking about maybe Jesus, I'm talking about maybe Saka, or maybe occasionally your Gabriel Martinelli, who has got the pace to run in behind. So that is David Raya, and that's the role I think is going to play in this game. Obviously, defensively, Arsenal are superior, and I expect ourselves to be in a good shape to deal with whatever will be thrown at us by Tottenham. Ben White obviously has been in very good form, scoring a brace against Chelsea on Tuesday. He will be a very vital player in this game, but not in the attacking sense. He actually will be a very vital player in this game defensively. So when you look at Spurs and Ange and how they set up, they have a James Maddison in midfield that will pull the strings somewhere, and he will try to thread balls through to Son centrally, and then you've got the wide attack, which is their biggest strength. Udogie, Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, and of course Son drifting either right or left all the time. Our fullbacks are going to have to defensively be alert. You cannot sleep, you cannot switch off, you cannot ball watch. One thing I hate about Ben White, not really hate, but one thing I've noticed about Ben White, and it's a constant for me, is we have considered a couple of goals from the right-hand side where he is not quick to close down the person who's going to bring in the cross. He's not quick to close them down. It's the same thing that he did against Bayern. When the Kimmich goal, if Ben White goes closer, anywhere closer to before the ball is crossed in, that is not a goal. Kimmich that doesn't get that opportunity. But I want you to remember, Again, Ben White against Newcastle, when we conceded a goal later on in the game, losing 1-0, Ben White still, Joe Willock runs to the byline, and he picks the ball from out of play, right? But Ben White doesn't respond. He is tucking his hands behind his back in the penalty area. Go and close him down. So that is his job for me. Defensively, he's got to be alert because he's going to be going against Son and Timo Werner. Those are the best at Tottenham when it comes to wide areas. Right, I don't know, who do we play at left back? I was thinking of Alexander Zinchenko, but obviously defensively, Zinchenko is a liability. But Zinchenko would be a very, very strong asset for us in this game. Very, very strong. But I'm going to go with Takara Tomiyasu because Takara Tomiyasu is very good in 1v1 situations. He's very good in defending 1v1 situations. So I think Tommy is better than Zinchenko defensively. So we go with Tomiyasu. And again, with Tomiyasu, he's going to go against Brennan Johnson. He's going to go against an inverted Dejan Kulusevski. He is a big problem when he's inverting because he will cut inside on his stronger left foot and he will whip it in, right? You've got to stop him. You've got to stop him very, very quickly. So Tomiyasu there, for me, I think, again, defensively, we are still strong. Now, these two in the middle of the pack won't have a lot to do. That is William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. I don't think they will really, really have a lot to do. Because I think Spurs know that centrally, Arsenal are impermeable. So you really cannot go through us. So I think our centre-back partnership should be all right. They should be able to contain whatever will be thrown against them. That is, James Maddison pulling the string somewhere in midfield and also the runs of Huminson, in behind. We should be able to deal with that. I don't expect to do a match reaction where I'm like, Saliba was poor or Gabriel was poor. It could happen, but I don't expect to say it. Now, in midfield, that is where we have to go. We've got to have the conversation. Do we play Partey, Odegaard, and Rice, or do we play Jorginho, Rice, and Odegaard? This is gonna be funny, right? Because with Jorginho, he's got the ability to find the space in behind that that Tottenham Hotspur defense. So he's got to start. So I might find myself stupidly dropping Declan Rice. Because for me, listen, Declan Rice in this game, again, this is not your game. So let's go with Jorginho, right? Let's go with Jorginho first because for me, Jorginho has got to play in this game, right? He's got to be there. Jorginho has got to be there. I don't care, what Jorginho has got to be there. Now, defensively, you've got to go with a player like Declan Rice because it's very, very important, right? And I'm going to explain why Rice is important in this game for me. So let's say Declan Rice, how come he's not in? I just searched him like a while ago and he was in this system. Okay, there you have it. So Declan Rice, Jorginho, obviously Odegaard, right? Because he's in form and he is the guy we need to tear down this Tottenham Hotspur high line. So this is the three I would go for against Tottenham in midfield. Let me explain. Now Partey and Rice did a very good, tremendous job against Chelsea. But that is because the requirements in that game suited the presence of Partey and Rice. So it was about domination. It was about overpowering an already overpowered Chelsea. I tell you, if Arsenal played Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Jorginho, we would still beat Chelsea 5-0. They are poor. But with with Spurs, you have Sa in there, Pierre-Emile Hoy Baskets in there. You have your Bissouma, your regular Bissouma, of course, in there, and your James Maddison. That is significantly better than Tottenham. So I think this midfield and its quality should be able to deal with that. But why I've gone with Jorginho over Partey? I know. I've gone with Jorginho over Partey because we want a player who can find the space in behind that defense, that high line, who can exploit and expose the high line that Tottenham Hotspur really play. That is Jorginho. We need a guy that can, constantly find runners. That is Jorginho, and that's Martin Odegaard. So that means that Declan Rice actually comes into this game as a defensive as a defensive midfielder. He comes into this game to provide the protection for Jorginho and Odegaard to operate. That is why I was saying, that's why I'm saying, right? It's unpopular, but in this game I would play Jorginho, Partey, and Odegaard, because for with all due honesty, Declan Rice, this is not your game. Yeah, this is not his game. This is not a Declan Rice game. This is, can you find the runners? Can you release 10 passes behind that wall, behind that high line? That is Jorginho. That is Odegaard. That is not Declan Rice. And defensively, I think Thomas Partey would be a much better player. But also, Partey, once in a while, sneaking those beautiful balls like he did against Bayern to find Saka, who should have scored. That is your Thomas Partey role. So for me, that would be the midfield. The only change I would make to this midfield is Rice out, Partey in. Now, up top, we are going to have to disagree again, right? We're going to have to disagree again. I've just dropped your Thomas Partey. I'm dropping another player in midfield. I'm dropping another player up top. Very, very, big player in form. So I'm dropping Trossard first and foremost. With Trossard, I think it's a no-brainer. When we talk about Spurs and Newcastle, and we refer back to that game, and we look at the performances that Spurs have, suffered defeat, you will need a lightning quick winger, a clinical finisher, and a guy that has got technical ability to take on players 1v1. So where do Spurs struggle? They struggle in 1v1 situations. They struggle with pace in behind. They struggle with a long ball over the top. That is where Arsenal have got to play Gabriel Martinelli. He's out of form, but this is the game that he thrives on. This is the kind of environment that he thrives on. When every defender is high up the pitch and he's got to run in behind, use his pace, apply the brakes a little bit and finish. That is where Gabriel Martinelli really thrives. So for me, Martinelli starts in this game. Saka, obviously, I think it's a no-brainer with Saka. I don't want to commit a lot of murders to the squad. So Saka starts, obviously. And then Kai Havertz, this is not your game. For me, it's a Jesus game. It's a Gabriel Jesus game. It's a Gabriel Jesus game. Now, the fear with Gabriel Jesus that I have and I share with all of you is that he ain't clinical. Bro, he ain't clinical. So that means that whatever we do and whatever, chances we create, we might not be able to bury them. That is why Gabriel Martinelli starts, and that's why Saka starts. This is a game where Saka should be able to score 2. This is a game where Martinelli should appear on the score sheet, and Martin Odegaard should appear on the score sheet. It should be a minimum of 3-4 goals if Spurs continue to adamantly play that high line. A minimum of 3-4. We saw how Newcastle erased them, and Arsenal can do the same. So for me, this would be my starting 11. Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Odegaard. Jorginho returns to the starting 11. Partey drops. Declan Rice, obviously, ever reliable. Trossard drops for Gabriel Martinelli to come back. Havertz drops for Jesus to start as the number 9. And Saka retains his spot. Let me know in the comment box below where I'm wrong. I know I'm not right, throughout the video, but there's some aspects to this video that are making a lot of sense. Where am I making sense, and where am I just pulling the trigger in your brain?